On May 26, 1990, Marlene Warren was having breakfast with her son Joe Arons when he says a clown approached their front door carrying a basket of flowers and balloons. Arons remembers his mother gleefully answering the door and accepting the apparent gifts, not expecting what she said at that moment, "How pretty," would be her final words. Within seconds, police say the clown unalived her, ending her life and starting a decades-long search for answers. It took over 30 years to make sense of it all. Marlene Warren was someone without any known enemies, said Palm Beach County State Attorney Dave Ehrenberg. This was an assassination. This was not a random act of violence. Immediately after Marlene Warren's unaliving, investigators tried to figure out who could possibly want the mother and small business owner dead. They soon focused on her husband, Michael Warren, who is also Arons' stepfather. Arons says based on what his mother had told him, there was good reason. She said, "If anything does happen to me, your father did it," said Arons. "I told her no way. He would never do anything like that," she said. "Don't put it past him." Investigators learned about a possible motive. Michael Warren appeared to be having an affair with a colleague, Sheila Keene, who repossessed cars at the auto business he ran. In the hours after the unaliving of Marlene Warren, the suspects became clear. Ehrenberg said, "It was Sheila Keene, and it was Michael Warren, but Michael Warren had an alibi." Authorities confirmed that Michael Warren was in a car with friends headed to a horse race at the time Marlene was unalived, and he was ruled out as the unaliver. When investigators spoke to Keene about her whereabouts, she claimed to be searching for cars to repossess, but was unable to verify her exact location. Detectives also learned a woman fitting Keene's general description was spotted buying a clown costume, as well as the balloons and flowers left by the clown, before the unaliving. When detectives found a car fitting the description given by Arons of the assailant's getaway vehicle, they say they found a brown hair that was visually consistent with Keene's hair. Also found inside the car and in Keene's apartment were orange fibers investigators say matched the description of the wig the clown was wearing. Despite the circumstantial case building against her, Ehrenberg, who did not become the Palm Beach County State Attorney until years later in 2012, says prosecutors at the time did not believe they had enough to charge Keene with Marlene Warren's unaliving, and as time passed with no new evidence, the case grew cold. "For many years, I was suffering in despair," Arons said. By 2017, there was finally some movement in the case. A cold case unit had retested old evidence and determined Keene's DNA matched the hair found in the suspected getaway car. When investigators started looking for Keene, they learned she had started a new life with an old flame Michael Warren. The couple wed in 2002, 12 years after the unaliving. "Here's someone whose wife had been unalived and he'd just married the chief suspect," said Ehrenberg. When you combine the fact that the two of them were in an affair, and then later, they got married, it did seem like mission accomplished. The Warrens had been running a burger joint called Purple Cow for several years in Kingsport, Tennessee. According to former employees at the restaurant, there were rumors Keene Warren had unalived Michael Warren's former wife and that she had committed the crime dressed as a clown. Detectives spoke to one employee who said Keene Warren had dressed as a clown at the restaurant one year during Halloween and even provided detectives with a picture of her appearing in clown makeup. Sheila Keene Warren was arrested for Marlene Warren's unaliving on September 26, 2017, 27 years after the unaliving. She probably never thought in a million years she'd be held accountable for her crimes, says Ehrenberg about the arrest. She thought she got away with it. Keene Warren's defense attorney Greg Rosenfeld says not only is she not guilty, but her arrest was the result of the Palm Beach County State Attorney's Office's reckless desire to close a notorious co-LD case. "We will never know who unalived Marlene Warren because the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, the state attorney's office, did such a poor job investigating this case," said Rosenfeld. "I can tell you without question that it was not Sheila Keene. It would be more than 5 years of court drama and delays before the case would finally come to an unexpected conclusion." Sheila Keene Warren, 61, was released 18 months after she pleaded guilty to second-degree unaliving for the unaliving of Marlene Warren. Florida Department of Corrections records show the plea deal came shortly before her trial would have started. Keene Warren, who has maintained her innocence even after her plea, was sentenced to 12 years in prison, but she had been in custody for 7 years since her arrest in 2017, and Florida's law in 1990 allowed significant credit for good behavior. It had been expected she would be released in about 2 years. Sheila Keene Warren will always be an admitted convicted unaliver and will wear that stain for every day for the rest of her life, Palm Beach County State Attorney Dave Ehrenberg said in a statement. Greg Rosenfeld, Keene Warren's attorney, has said she only took the plea deal because she would be released in less than 2 years and had been facing a life sentence if convicted at trial.